Hey, Internet. What is up? This is George. That's who I am. I'm George with Warp Charge Gaming. I'm here with James and my buddy Chris. And
What up?
Yo.
it's Warp Charge Gaming on Thursday nights at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We do it every Thursday, episode 57. I think I said it was 55 last time, but I just hadn't changed the name. So it's actually 57, everybody. I know we're all keeping count. Moving right along.
Dude, I lost count after 3, bro.
Yeah. It's only because I counted them manually that I knew anything. But I'm happy to be continuing to make live episodes, and there's been a lot happening with the progress of Warp Charge, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we launched just yesterday, 2 days ago. We launched the giveaway again. I think it's the third time we might have said we're giving away Gilliman, but this time it's for real.
We're done yanking your chain.
Yeah. We had to like do some figuring. We had to make sure it was the right time. All kinds of special stuff. But to kind of like thank everybody for being where we are now as far as launching our Patreon. We want to do kind of a thank you giveaway and a painted and magnetized Gilliman by our lead painter, head artist, the illustrious James Schaff. The man, the myth, the legend. He made that thing right, and he made it a long time ago. And I don't even. Why'd you even paint that Gilliman up, James? Because you were gonna try to just make some quick cash or something? It was back when he was like super hot during that time. It was like when G-Man first hit the tables.
Whenever my painting schedule opens up and the hot model drops, I typically like grabbing it, painting it quick, and throwing it on the old interwebs.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. And I mean, painting's your job, you know.
Yeah,
damn right.
But then we became a thing, and Gilliman was primed to be like, you know what? Maybe we should just give back to people that are awesome.
Yeah.
So we did that. We just always wanted to find the right time.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's painted.
Some people
he's epic. He's epic. That's why.
Yeah. It's not just he's epic. I mean, it's just like there's a thought, a meaning behind him. So it needs to be worth more than just the dollars that I would have gotten for him.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Particularly, I remember it being it was the launch of our company. You know, we got our LLC, we had this huge vision, and it was like, all right, this guy, we're gonna save him for something special, and it kind of just kept building and building. We actually did quite a few giveaways. We worked with Aptifine Miniature Artistries, and we did a dope Lord of Change that was totally painted up.
That model is awesome.
Yeah, and that's from Kat from Aptifine. She's awesome, and you can just find her on Facebook.
Dude, I have to say that was my favorite giveaway we've done to date. Just for the sheer fact that had a tournament at Gallery 5 and the winner was there when it was called.
Oh, yeah.
That was super cool.
Oh, man, that was cool. And you can actually see that. You can watch the video of the recap video and see when that actually happened. So I love that's been a lot of the fun process of the overtime here is having like you immortalize your history and can go back and check it out. Like I know when we did on February 1st this year, we did our kind of traditional Battle in the Warp, February 1st, my birthday weekend. And for like 3 years in a row, I threw a birthday tournament, and we'd have a tournament in the house. And
the invitational?
Yeah, it was invitational. It was just everybody on our Facebook thread that it went from just a few of us, about 3 or 4 people, to now like 30 people deep. Talking 40K.
True.
Yeah, that's oftentimes whenever for the show, when I get our pictures ready to show the audience in our talk show, I just pull them right from Facebook. From what we share with each other. And today, that's pretty much how I'm going to just show you guys what's going on. Because if you can see behind me, I'm here at home, not live at Battlegrounds right now. Me and Chris just played 3 games in a row of Kill Team Elites today. Hey, which was pretty sick.
Yeah, man.
You did Cult, you did Tyranids, I did Space Wolves, Black Templars, and Custodes.
Indeed.
What'd you think of your first impression, Chris?
Dude, I love what they've added to the game, honestly. And obviously, I can't speak to the balance of the game at this point because I've only seen, 5 factions, out of the, 15? But simultaneously, I can already see so many builds coming out of the woodwork based around chapter tactics. I can see, really different flavors of the same army internal to, one army. Whereas I felt like it was less dynamic from a competitive standpoint before. I don't mean it to be like there wasn't any, variability in list, but Now I feel like there's going to be that much more.
Kind of like, because like Adeptus Astartes is a great example, or even Chaos, where you would, if you went against the Space Marines, you were going against Space Marines no matter how they were painted or meant to, they could be whatever, and they wouldn't have any additional rules. But now, if you go against a Space Marine player, you have to ask the question, well, what type are they? Are they Space Wolves have in there? I really enjoy Space Wolves in there. They get their +1 to hit when they are charged. They get the same basically rules they get inside of 40k. And it's sweet because the multi-damage combat weapons are so good, and they're unwieldy and make you -1 to hit. So that +1 to hit's a great mitigation there.
Definitely.
Thunderhammers hit hard, and heavy. I'd say heavy AP and multi-damage weapons are just way more of a thing now, as far as being a necessity, because when you got Terminators walking around and things with 2-up saves in general, Mega Knobs, Custodes, and your Warrior today, for an example, like Warriors and like that's a Warrior is such a clutch piece of a Tyrannid horde. If you need to take out Synapse, and before that could be a real challenge to try to murder those things.
Yeah, the multi-wound, it was that much harder to get through them. Conversely, I mean, those heavy weapons in general are that much more important too, because, on the opposite end for multi-wounds, I mean, you saw even out the gate, when there's an enemy team that has 4 models in a kill team, the ability to, devastate them out the gate and be like, oh, yeah, I just hit you with, 3 damage shots.
Yeah.
He's fucking dead.
Yep, and if you don't have something like that, you're in trouble. And what's interesting too is that the reserves rule is a huge part of how it became a more tactical game. Because you used to be able to hide a Warrior in the back. For the first time, I never had even seen someone do this, but Chris brought a 20-man team in our 3rd game, and he actually screened out the back. And we've never had to make a screen in Kill Team. So that was interesting. And, before a Warrior being a clutch piece in the back in front of all the Horde, it used to be only Fly could deal with that. But now any model in your kill team can go chase those guys down.
Mm-hmm.
And
because of the reserves.
Yep. And it used to be it was a default that you would take the cheapest leader as possible. You always have to take a leader. He gives you a command point, so you want to hide him. And for the Orcs, I would take a Gretchen leader. For the Tau, I'd take a Pathfinder Shazwi. I'd take the cheapest guy, hide him in the back, get the points. But now they can just cruise up behind you and one-shot you. And it's only a 5-inch distance away, so they can have flamers and just come behind you and flame you.
Yeah. No, I mean, certainly. You're seeing. And I don't mean this is a negative thing. You're seeing a lot of the flavor from 40k being injected into Kill Team, and I think that the rule sets are different enough that you see very, very specific ways it plays out. Even one thing that you and I talked about today with Kill Teams, the Astra Militarum, the Bullgrins. There are things that you can do in Kill Teams that you can't do in 40k.
Yeah, or the Gene Stealers that you did was a big deal. He gave all his Gene Stealers 4++. How'd you give him that invuln? What high fleet was that? Oh, it was the Cult.
So
it was the Cult.
That is the Cult Creed, the Bladed Cog, which is also +1 invuln in 40k.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference is that the page that has the Cult Creeds in the 40k core or the Gene Stealer Cult Codex specifically says that if you have the Gene Stealer keyword, which is the Patriarch and Gene Stealers, you just don't get the Cult Creed.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist in Kill Teams. So you can take the +1 invuln Cult Creed in Kill Teams and be like, oh, well, now I have 12 4-up invulnerable Gene Stealers, and it's disgusting.
And that's the thing too with the Bullgrin is that they have in 40k the Astra Militarum, they can only give orders to other. I forget exactly the detail, but you can't give it to Bullgrin in 40k.
Yeah.
But in Kill Team, they just have to have the Astra Militarum keyword, which they do, and so you can give them things like fixed bayonets and have those Bullgrins fight in the shooting phase and then in combat, which is so gross.
Now, do you think these things are going to get FAQ'd to be more like 40k?
They have been pretty light-handed with the FAQs and Kill Team being something that modified the game. There's really only been 2 modifications to the actual games. More so, it's all been clarifications inside the rule set. There hasn't been very many surprises in the FAQ that wasn't already kind of written. It was just maybe interpretive.
Also,
not things like adding aircraft and stuff like that. Nothing major like that.
To add to that,
Matthew's calling you out.
What's he saying?
That it's left side of the
in kill
page.
teams. No, that's definitely in the 40K codex that he's talking about. I'm pretty sure. It doesn't say it on the Cult Creed.
It might be.
Page.
I got my book downstairs, but there might be a little side header because
it's possible, but based off of the page I looked at in your rule book, yes, left side of the page, Xenos Physiology.
Oh dang! You guys will have to hold it down. I'm gonna go get the book.
Yeah, go for it.
I want to see if he's wrong.
Yeah. Right,
I've actually got my Cult Codex here. Oh, actually, yeah. No, if he's mentioning page 29. Okay, not 219. I'm seeing if that matches up with my 40K rule book. 29.
Yeah, I'm back. All right, I think he said he even gave us a page number.
Yeah, he did. It's not matching up with the pages in my book, so maybe that second game is a wash, George.
Yeah, no. I think he says page 29. Page 29.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you it's just a little side header. Cult creeds, subfactions. If you kill team, I'm assuming. Oh, Xenos Physiology. Gene stealers. Models cannot be drawn from a cult.
Boom.
Ooh,
Yeah.
My game was a wash.
Damn it. Now
you cheater.
Now I have to edit it.
I did cheat.
Now I have to edit it. Yeah, he had 4. But did I end up winning or no? You got me.
No. That game.
Oh, yeah.
That was the game that I was rolling like 75%.
Oh, yeah.
4++.
Dude, you totally, that. Every roll in that game was fucked up.
I literally, it was like every swing you took, it was like, nope, denied, nope,
dude,
nope.
You would have died so hard. Okay, now I can't even. Okay, that one is not getting posted. Luckily, we recorded 3 today, but that one is.
Did.
That thing is
completely
wrong. Because, dude, he nailed so many 4-ups. They were always.
Oh, yeah.
They were 4s, like the number 4. It wasn't even a 5.
I've said it before, but I can roll a 4-up all day.
You son of a bitch. Thank you, Michael or Matthew Holt. Or Howell.
Call out, Matthew. No joke. Because I definitely didn't see that.
Yeah, well, it's okay. There's a couple things that I didn't see either that was a big deal. Like I was freaking out on the Custodes because I was getting pissed because they only have a 67-point model and a 33-point model. So what's whack is no matter what, you can make a 125-point elite team, but there is no way to not either make a 99-point team or a 100-point team. You can take, and then the other thing that was upsetting me is that there was no way to take a 3-man team with the Custodes, with the 2 Terminator versions they have, the 67-point model. But I saw in the little side header that they're the only kill team that can take a 2-model team. So that made me happy. But then, so that's kind of cool and unique to them. But they all get this Misericordia gun. And there's little hidden rules that you can easily miss, especially they put the chapter tactics in the beginning of the book, and then you're looking at the faction later on in the book. Kind of silly, but the main additions to elites for those that are just kind of haven't got it yet is you got reserves and you have the chapter tactics. Those are the additions to the game, and they added 1 specialism that only a select few models have. And Chris actually played a model today, the Death Leaper, who comes with the new specialism already at level 4. You can't even pick a level 1 Death Leaper. He just went right to level 4.
Yeah, it's great too because he's only 70 points.
Yeah, and so he got to come in from reserves for free without spending command points, and he got to charge immediately after coming in from reserves on a single dice
on
roll.
1d6.
Yeah, on 1 dice, but he gets to re-roll it. So
but that was because of my Hive fleet, not because something Death Leaper has.
Oh, okay, because he has to do it on a 5.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a new specialism, there's reserves, and there's and sub factions, and then of course now there's Terminators and multi-wound models. I have just to switch topics a little bit / the same one. There's a few pictures in here of some kill teams. See if I can find it. Here we go. So here's a Custode kill team I picked up. Pretty stoked. You got the Alaris custodians up front, and you can see their Castellan axe and awesome guardian spear. They're sweet because they do 2 damage in shooting, they do D3 damage in combat no matter what. 2+ to hit, 2 in combat and shooting. Looking at 4 wounds apiece and 3 wounds apiece. Here's fun. The Berserkers and Chaos got so much cooler. I did not even play Chaos and Kill Team because of how boring they were, and not like comparatively points for points how other teams did what they're supposed to do even better. It feels like you get to play Chaos in that combat style now with the Berserkers, the awesome combat style Terminators. In this list, I have the Cultist Leader, and I won't be going that way in the future. I've seen how you cannot just have a leader hide in the back anymore. Here's that Bulgrin list. I went up against this on the channel as a sweet bat rep. But man, look at those. This is a 200-point team with 3 Bulgrins and then 3 Scion Gunners with plasma guns. It's awesome. They are so good, and the fact that they can fight in the shooting phase is ridiculous. Never want to play guard till then. Of course, now the Grey Knights can do 2 powers instead of just 1. They can select basically they can select 2 casters instead of just 1. All sweet stuff. But that pulls me over to there's Chaos Knot. You talked about that last week, but I got some pics here of these Lord Discordants you painted up, James. These things are sexy, man. What's going on there? You did that for Robles, and these are in Red Corsair colors?
Yeah.
Okay. They look real nice, man. I got a Discordant. I'm about to get James another 2 Discordants and send that off to you. I look forward to you painting those up. Are you still feeling like you're going to paint yours up in Red Corsair? Or you starting to feel purge, or what's the deal there, bud?
Yeah, so I think I might need 3.
Yeah.
It's a good thing that Robles has ones painted up as Red Corsairs. And hopefully, because he plays Nurgle, he'll let me borrow those when he's not playing them. Because after this weekend, I'm definitely going to be running a Flawless Warlord one. Like, hands down, Marcus Slanesh, Flawless.
Is that the blender configuration?
Dude. So when I first saw Flawless in that Warlord trait, so what Flawless does, if you don't know their Legion traits, on 6s to wound in the fight phase, or to hit in the fight phase, generates an extra attack.
Yeah.
And that stacks on top of Deaths of the False Emperor. So if you're going against Imperium, you get 2 extra attacks for every 6 to hit. So when I first looked at this with the Warlord trait, you get an extra 3 attacks instead of just 1 for the Warlord when he hits on a 6. Now, I thought the Demon Prince with Diabolical Strength and the Elixir would just wreck some things. Absolutely. But then I played against a Lord Discordant. So Lord Discordant gives +1 to hit to like Hellforge units, which he is 1. So now he's already exploding on 5s naturally, okay? Prescience is a spell that Chaos has. So now he can be making those explosions happen on 4s.
Oh, Jesus.
So when you're going against Imperium on 4s to hit, you're getting an extra 4 attacks. A Lord Discordant already has a base of basically 10 attacks. So it just gets so crazy.
I mean, even on 5s, man, like, if you're getting, 3 attacks on 5s and have almost 10 attacks, you're going to get an extra, 9 attacks. You're going to functionally, double your attacks.
Yeah, so now with Prescience on this dude, he can take out a whole 30-man boy unit by himself. So,
that's just awesome.
It's just a little crazy, and then you can go
well, that's because also, right, he has that relic that the more bodies that are around him, the more attacks he gets.
Unfortunately, you're not going to pair that relic with this dude because that relic says it only gets 1 attack.
Oh, so okay.
It won't explode because of the way the relic's wording is. So you wouldn't use that, but you would still use either the Flawless relic that gives you 1 extra attack and then increases your aura by 3 inches. So you could have a -1 to hit aura and a +1 to hit aura that's 9 inches instead of 6. Or what I like to say is go with the Elixir, so you're getting the +1 strength, +1 attack. So then when you're doing your charges, you're on strength 9 instead of strength 8. And then you have that extra attack to continue exploding with. And you can even go further for only 65 points. If you still want to go mono chaos, Space Marines, I mean, you can still summon in the mask. The mask allows you to put +1 to hit onto an enemy unit within an inch. So you can then make your explosions happen on 3s if you really want to get crazy with it.
Okay.
But exploding on 4s with 3 attacks is just still pretty crazy when you think about the platform that is.
Oh, dude, definitely. I mean, that kind of stacking attacks is like what a lot of units in the game chase. I mean, even I know with like the Aberrants, like for Gene Stealer Cult, like everyone is looking for ways to give them plus attack because so many of their weapons get like bonus attacks for having more attacks. And I mean, just to be able to stack all that nonsense, that's why I really liked one of the stratagems that made you have like exploding attacks on 5s, coupled with 6s count as 2 hits instead of 1. But yours sounds way more points efficient, if I'm honest, because I had to take something like 300 points of support characters.
Yeah, it's 160 points, man.
And he's walking around on his own doing all that nonsense, which is awesome. He doesn't need anybody chasing him to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. The thing is, he's targetable. He's easy to kill.
And what's cool too is like one of the nice things about Red Corsairs is it gives you the advance and charge built into his Legion trait, but you can just make the detachment Soul Forge and still do it for command point.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
I'm not doing that in the list I'm building. I'm using him as like a submarine so that people don't target him because I want equal threats. So I still have Soul Forged Lord Discordant that's Red Corsairs in my list that does continue to advance and charge with Venom Crawlers because they're assault weapons.
So he's kind of like a distraction Carnifex, but not.
Exactly. And then I have a detachment of Purge with a Lord Discordant. And that Lord Discordant's there just to help Contemptors fire their C-beams and their Soul Burners because a Purge is just ridiculous on its own right. So when you add all these light vehicles and just how many there are with Lord Discordants, it's kind of like the only one that doesn't benefit others is the flawless one. But he's the one who's the most nasty. Mm-hmm. So it's like, do you target him or do you target the ones that are actually buffing other things?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's the list I'm currently working for my Mono Chaos Space Marines. And I never thought to be running Lord Discordants like this. But they have just so many cool tools when you mix them with the Legions and all the cool rules.
Yeah, and they're awesome models. I mean, come on.
Oh, dude, they're really sweet models. If you're ever going to build and paint one, I recommend the little thing that says it's like for fluff-wise controls it. Take that thing off because it's in your way and then put it on afterwards. Because I did not know that when I built 2 of them just to speed paint those.
Yeah. Categories.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Get that shit off there, meow. Couple things that just popped in my head. One, if you want to see Chris cheat with the 4+ invuln, you still can if you go watch it on the back end on Twitch. For some people that may not know this, the way to see our content the fastest is to watch it on Twitch on the back end. We post it on YouTube after the fact now. Sometimes we'll tailor that and make it better. Sometimes the title is incorrect on Twitch. We haven't made the best presentation of those videos. We just use that as our platform to go live, and then we tidy it up for YouTube. But you can watch Chris cheat. If you go check out that, whenever we do when we do our tournaments, I'll post our top table to YouTube. But if you want to watch all 3 rounds, you watch it on Twitch. Stuff like that. You might hear funny stuff of like people talking in the background doing the live thing. So that's where you check that out. And then otherwise, I was thinking of something that's funny. I just had a deja vu when Matthew was telling us about the. That page number and stuff. When I was playing Age of Sigmar on Twitch the other day, one of our commenters, Zorath, and I was so appreciative. I
feel you, Matthew.
I edited him into the bat rep to show that I was that he taught me that rule before the game. But we were playing live, and I was running my corn list with my Archaon, who's like super badass on the table. It's fun. I'm excited about the list, but it feels questionably optimized. But he told me live, he's like, why aren't you fighting twice with Archaon and Scarbrand? And I'm like, yo, because, you know, I got to have my general have that ability. I got to chase these guys around my general. And the only way I can do it is if I'm holy with an 8. And he's like, no, dude. Like, because that cat's he's getting hyphy on this.
He's loud. He's a loud cat.
He is a really loud cat. Yeah. There you go. Get him in screen there. Hello. Okay. So the story is that I learned a rule that made me really happy, right? Even though I thought this person was wrong, and that, so like when you have named characters in Sigmar, you can't give them a general trait, and you can't give them a relic. Okay, that's standard, right? But then there's these things called command abilities that sometimes your army gains from taking certain detachment types, like a slaughter host for the demons, and then you get the ability to fight twice with all your corn heroes. And Battlescribe fucked me up. See, the Age of Sigmar, Games Workshop put out a War Scroll builder for Age of Sigmar, and it's fantastic. Fantastic. Like, it kicks Battlescribe's ass when it comes to list building. Yeah, go ahead.
The way that actually started, for those that don't know, someone actually designed that independently of Games Workshop, and Games Workshop actually paid him to, like, they liked it enough that they were like, hey, if you keep this going, like, you know, we'll kick you. I don't know how much they're paying him, but I know that, like, he makes some amount of money off of it.
Well, you could tell that it's a huge step up. I mean, one, you can, like, even take pictures of your models and, like, have your models in the list builder. So instead of looking at the picture of there's pictures. I mean, that's not in Battlescribe. You literally you have images of all of the different models you're choosing. Like, when you're list building, you can just, like, scroll through all the models of Chaos as if you were on the Games Workshop page. It can link you directly to the buy page. Your rules, like, in the book, if you want to look at your book, like where that model is in the book, you're looking at your list, you click on a button, and all of a sudden you're looking at his profile inside the actual rule book, as long as you bought it digitally. Core rule books are built in, so it's pretty sick, right? But that thing is way more accurate, and that's the cool thing too, is that as FAQs come and whatnot, they update it pretty religiously. And Battlescribe is often wrong in Age of Sigmar. And in this case, it had said that I could only have the fight twice command ability when I selected it on my general itself. It wasn't letting me put that command ability on anyone else. So I was like, I don't think I can have it on my named characters. You know, I don't think they get this. And by allowing Archaon and Scarbrand, they can, actually. They get the command abilities. They're not general traits. All your heroes get it. And so now I can independently walk around with Archaon and Scarbrand and just fight twice for however many command points I have.
Doesn't Scarbrand deal something like 6 mortal wounds, like on swing sometimes?
When he hasn't fought in the previous turn, he's max pissed off. Like, if he's at full wound profile but didn't fight on turn 1, then in turn 2 he gets to act as if he's full pissed. And whenever he's full pissed on one of his attacks, he has Carnage and Slaughter as his axes. And I believe the Slaughter axe is what you're rolling. And instead of rolling to hit, you roll 1 dice. And on a 1+, you do 8 mortal wounds. And then if you roll a 6, you do 16 mortal wounds.
So you could do that twice in a turn.
Correct. So no matter what, on turn 2, if I didn't fight turn 1, minimum he does 16 mortal wounds to who he's fighting.
That's disgusting.
As soon as you roll a 6, it becomes another 8 on top of that. So you could, if you double 6 that bitch, 32 mortal wounds. So not much survives him. And then on top of that, he's rolling 9 other attacks that get 3 damage apiece, and you also have a bonus attack. So he's ridiculous. So, but there's been so many games that I've played now where I was chasing around these guys with a 120-point model that I didn't necessarily want to bring, just so that I could get that buff. And in fact, they do it independently. You don't have to be near anybody. So it changes everything. I got to gain all these points back, totally recreated my list, and I'm like in love now that I have all this synchronization of bodies and modifications. So in love and stoked. But that came from people on the internet. I really love it when commenters give us the helpful guidance and you know, let us humbly approach that. Sometimes I'm like,
indeed.
Sometimes I'm like, no, that's not true. No.
I mean, you definitely usually want to exercise caution when you read something that seems like it's really really good.
Yeah.
Um,
You got to
but
appreciate the commenters that give you page numbers and like literally will quote the rule.
yeah, absolutely.
Like hell yeah, applaud, and that's what our bro did today. Page 29. What was it? Fucking
Yeah, no, I
yeah.
mean literally. I was surprised by this because the way he described it on the left margin of the page, that's the same way they have it in the Gene Stealer Cult Codex for 40K. Because on Ego Queen Alexis's page, on the Long War page, I have made this exact same comment, but for 40K on like at least 3 channels.
Oh sure. Well hey, we you can't trust anybody. Honestly, you got to read it for yourself. Remember when the Long War, when we were trolling them for missing up the. I think it was the sudden death rule. Whenever they were saying that they had misread the sudden death rule and were talking it all up, all huge. That was funny. But yeah. So speaking of rules and stuff, James, you played competitively this past weekend, right?
What happened?
Yeah. Tell us about your GT experience, man. You were going pure corn, or what were you doing?
I was pure corn.
Oh, okay.
Corny.
Yeah, man. I was doing pretty good going into day like 2. I was the 5th. I lost only one game day 1, and yeah, I just lost both games day 2, and they were brutal because my round 4 I was matched up against Justin Curtis, and he had that flawless host dude, and he screamed out
Disco man.
Yeah, so even though I got to go first, got turn 1 charges off, I didn't roll far enough to get my Helldrakes into his little pockets of screens, and I don't have enough shooting to clear away the screens. And yeah, Magnus and Morty and a bunch of psychic powers did work to me. So
Magnus and Morty.
So I ended up conceding, only achieving 6 points in that game. And then my last game of the day, round 5, I went up against a night player, and yeah, it was whoever went first was going to win that one. And
which you proved, I think.
Oh, we did prove, because I did not get to go first, and I lost that one, only achieving 4 points. And I conceded at the end of turn 2 just because I lost my Catan, my badass Demon Prince. I mean, I was committed. I put all my characters that like you would hide behind things on the front line to be shot at. I was just like, I don't care. I know whoever goes first wins this. So I lost that game, but because we finished that in 30 minutes, we decided to run it back, and I got to go first. And I destroyed 3 big knights, a little knight, and had 1 knight left standing at the end of my turn.
Of turn 1?
Of turn 1, and then he was table.
Tell me about that. So what he had knights, and you ran a chitin up. You had your Helldrakes.
So the Catan with the Lord Discordance buff from Soulforge gets the extra 2 inches of movement, so it's 14 inches of movement. Because it was search and destroy, that was a 4-inch charge because he was also
18 between you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't even have to do his advance and charge, which allowed me to do some shots. I really love a Lord Red Corsairs with the Relic, Kami Melta, and a Thunderhammer. That dude is so badass. He puts out so many bolter shots from one little bike, and a Melta shot, and a hammer, and he can advance and charge. So that means that dude can just fill so many rolls. So when he's up online, he moves 20 inches and can charge.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you're saying that's a great unit. People also talk about the Juggerlord, like, so you're talking about the bike.
Oh, this is way better than Juggerlord. Red Corsairs, Lord on bike with the Kami Melta relic gun is so awesome.
And that is a Red Corsair specific relic, yeah?
Yes, it's a Red Corsair specific relic.
Do you have a pretty dope one made? Like, that sounds like an awesome
character.
Yeah,
I do. Give me a second.
I want to see one of those. I want one of those. God damn it. That sounds really cool.
See what we got.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. You got him. Yeah.
Okay. And then go around this side. He's got his Kami Melta that I made.
Shit.
Dude, I can definitely make you one of them. I have another hammer. I got another bike. I can make one.
I need that. I need that in my life.
Also, so like just talking the raw damage and speed that your list seems to have, James, I have to be completely honest. Like, so George and I, we got through our Kill Teams games. It was like 550. We thought about playing some 40K before the live stream, but we both kind of didn't want to like super get into a game and like rush to finish it before the podcast. I am super scared of like the like 3-ish Helldrake, like super fast aggressive. The way I'm playing like Gunline Tyranids right now, I'm just like, wow, that list is terrifying.
Oh, I was wrecking fools. I mean, literally the 2 games. I think one game I lost day 1 was against an expert player, Tony Malave, and he's on Team Kamikaze, and he played the nastiest guard shooting list. And I was like, dude, I just picked the wrong mission matchup. Like, it was going to take me 2 turns to get to him. I knew I was going to lose. So I literally kited it out to maximize how many points I can get with a loss. So going into that, I was the highest person with battle points with a loss going into day 2. So then day 2, I literally went against Justin Curtis, who's an amazing player. He actually won the GT. And then I went against this night player, which it came down to a dice roll. Because as I was saying, I was sending this guy up. And this dude, all right, so this Relic Kami Melta is 3-shot Kami instead of a 2-shot Kami.
Okay.
So with the bolter rules, that's 6 shots coming from that Kami bolter. And then you still have the bike, so that's another 4. So that's 10 bolter shots. And then the Melta on it is a strength 9 neg 4 Melta instead of strength 8.
8, yep.
So you have
out,
that
Cap.
coming from this bike. If I don't need to advance, I get to shoot it all. If I do advance, I mean, I'm still putting 5 hammer attacks in you. Yeah. And this dude's nasty. So I had him coming up. I put 2 jump lords with hammers coming up. I rock 1 jump lord with a Melta so that he can deep strike in and shoot his Melta at something, try to snipe a character with 1 lucky shot. And the other one just chain sword hammer. I put them up online just to run across. So they're advancing and charging because of Red Corsairs. I had 2 Helldrakes. The Helldrakes flew over the big knights to attack the 1 small knight. So they double flamed the small knight, charged it.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah. So then I had the Khorne Demon Prince with the Relic Axe. He's up online doing his 12 inches and made his 9-inch charge. Then I had the 2 Lord Discordants doing their movement and their advances, and then they made their charges. So I had everything in, and I literally just go through just wiping everything. My 2 lords with jump packs didn't even get to swing. Like if the other knight was in range to touch them, I would have went after that with those 2.
Damn, that is awesome! How much output that has.
So I killed 3 knights with the Catan, the Demon Prince, and Lord Discordants, and then the baby knight with the 2 Helldrakes, leaving just 1 standing on his turn 1.
Wow.
So that's why when I walked to the table, I was like, whoever goes first just wins. Like this is. Literally, I have nothing to defend against that many knights because everything's so glassy. And I know against knights, those are all just prime targets that all my weapons are designed to smash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, dude, this is easy. And then with the Helldrakes being able to like tie up the baby knight, I knew it was just going to be, all right, how this is going to go. So we finished that game in like 20 minutes. That's a 40K game in 20 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
So then I went out, went out to the parking lot, just chilled, drank a little bit. Another dude finally finished, and he was playing all the Bloodthirsters, all the different types, with just Bloodletters, Karnak, and some dogs.
Yeah.
Like, Super
Khorne Fluffy. So I was like, dude, let's play. Let's just play, bro.
Yeah.
So me and him got in a game. And when we finished our game, he actually won that game because he got the charge counter off. Because like I ran to his Bloodletters, killed a couple Bloodletters, but he got his Bloodthirsters just to jump over the line where I didn't have that ability.
Yeah.
So he got me. But even when that game was over, we had 30 minutes left over for the round.
Wow.
That's 3 games in 1 round.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Sounds like a lot of people need to tighten up because no one's getting those kinds of reps.
Dude, this was the first time taking this list outside the home. I had 1 practice game at home, but I knew it was fast. Khorne's so hard to make good, so the only way is like you have to have a strong delivery system. and really the best delivery system is just massive threat really fast. And this is my mono corn list. Now, someone actually won an RTT with the pure corn list, and I was very shocked, and I loved it. They're running 3 rhinos maxed out with berserkers with 3 bloodthirsters.
Awesome. Was this before or after they nerfed the assault from exploding rhinos change?
This is brand new. This is them just running the fact up that you have basically only 6 threats running at you. You have to kill these threats because they're going to get into you. So basically you get 2 turns of free shooting and they're all up in your grill. And I think that's fun. That's a lot of fun. I think it's risky. I don't know if it would survive the onslaught of caliber of players that I recently just played. I mean, all of Team Happy was there. What is it? Gentleman Brothers or some shit like that. There was a lot of top teams in the Midwest that was at this GT, and it was a real slugfest, man. People were going like all over the place after games. I mean, we had PJ Pants and Tony Garpando playing each other in the finals.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. And then they knocked each other down, so Justin Curtis won it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
because neither one of them scored enough points.
Yeah. So James, you just reminded me, dude, of like you're so serious tournament goer. You're also fucking we got news you're traveling to Richmond. You're gonna come play at the Warp Charge major event.
Yeah, a fellow Warp Charge gamer had 3 weeks of vacation time, and he's like, you know what, I'm heading out there. So Robles like, I'm going along with, and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna make it happen. So rearrange some things so the child's taken care of, and I'm going to be heading out for a quick turnaround because 3 weeks after that, flying out for Nova.
Yeah, damn, son. Okay, wow, epic. That's awesome, man. I was so excited. So you, Robles, and Kevin are coming to the major event.
Yeah, we're crashing into your house.
Yeah, I love it, dude. Battle in the Warp. So yeah, what I'm super stoked about. I wanted to show some pictures. I'll see if I can pull some up real quick. But we got our objective markers in as well, which is awesome.
They look great.
Floating through the 40K thread here. It's a swamp of talking about lists and whatnot.
I was going to say, after seeing them in person today, I feel like they were, and it's barely noticeable, but I feel like they're thicker than a lot of the objective markers that I'm used to seeing by like, a millimeter or so. Like, they've got good weight to them. I like them.
Hey, she's happier when she gets a millimeter thicker.
Wow. Man, Facebook's being stupid. I can't show the cool objective markers. I'll make it work.
Ooh.
That's all right. Go to Facebook. Check out our page. You can see that.
Yeah.
That is
posted it. Follow us on all the medias.
That is an easy way to do it. I got it. Blam. Hi, somebody Stormcast, and there they are. Sorry, this is what it's like running the stream from home, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, super stoked. We got the Coastal Wargaming Cats logo on there. That's going to be helping us throw this event. Really excited about the collaboration. We got Tumby coming from New Zealand again, which you guys can see some of the Tumby Chronicles.
You have to understand, for those of you that are not aware, New Zealand is like the most expensive place to 40K. Like, the fact that we're having like one of our compatriot wargamers come out, I mean, I hope he loads up on product while it's cheap. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no kidding. Man, James, it sure would be cool if you could get those Harlequins taken care of for him, hand them off in person, man. You're gonna get a chance to meet Tumby, dude.
It would be cool, man. I got lots of projects. I mean, I still have Gordito's thing I need to finish. I just been painting my own things.
Yeah, I saw here.
And then
here's a picture of one of the things you're painting right now. The what is that? Creature caster product?
Yeah.
That's for Ali, right?
Yeah, that was just staring at me for a while, and like I just saw that head, and then I saw something that inspired me, so I just finished the head. I was just like, dude, this has got to get done.
The Pan's Labyrinth creature.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that pale blue skin with the fleshy flesh. I don't even know what to call it.
Skin under the skin under the skin.
Yeah. So that was just a little fun to paint. I think I got that done like an hour while I was trying to get the first level leveled on the Ender
Yeah,
for a
looks good.
24-hour print.
Looks good. It looks good.
Yeah. So speaking of paints, though, GW's coming out with new paints.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I heard those are great for people that want to develop their skill.
I wouldn't even say that, bro, because if you want to develop your skill, you got to start with the right methods.
Oh, dang. Well, I heard that it's going to be a great tool for commission painters to be able to knock certain things out faster and offer a cheaper pricing, or maybe something, or maybe just that it doesn't take them as much energy and get the same kind of results they would have quicker. So if it makes a 3-step process a 1-step process, and that's all the person wants, and you get to put in the same amount of time for the same kind of price and get the same kind of result, then that sounds pretty good, right?
Yeah, that sounds great if that's what they were selling.
Is that not what it is? Is that not what it is? Is that not what it is?
No.
That's how it was pitched to me.
Yeah, no, that's how they're pitching it to the public, bro.
Yeah, that sounds like the pitch, man. It sounds like a pretty good pitch.
Dude, all they're doing is selling this proprietary primer, which is $14 a can, bro. You know how much primer is for me? I get Style and Res, dude. This little thing right here is like $8. This $8 bottle right here lasts me months and months and months. That's even cheaper than buying a $2 can of like Rust-Oleum from Home Depot. That's how cheap I like it. Not $14 a can, where you're going to need like 2 cans to finish like a decent sized army. And all it is either going to be a satin or a gloss primer. And all that does is break up the surface tension so that when you put this viscosity, like this very viscous liquid over the model, it doesn't pool up. It just kind of runs into the recesses. And it's just very high pigments. So it's basically like a wash that has like a lot of pigment into it. But the wash aspect of it, they want you to put one thin coat. I don't know if you've ever like tried to wash something that's really big. It uses a lot of it. And those bigger things are $7 for just one of these. It looks like this is a new size pot, like in between the small and big one. So you're probably looking at like $6 for one of those. And that's just to get your base coat, because now you have to prime it, put that on there. There's your base coat. And all it did is settle in like recesses to give you contrast. You still now have to pick out all the like small details. You still have to flock it and base it. So what this is going to do is for sweatshop type people, you can just dip and go. So if you like have a whole army you need to get to going, like this will save you time. So like if you're brand new in the hobby, you don't know how to paint, you can put color on plastic and get your 3-color minimum onto the table easily. Yeah, it does that. But for the immersion of doing things right, it won't do that. I'm probably going to buy just a bottle in my hand to test it, because if it has more of a consistency of a glaze than a wash and still has this high pigment, I can see myself using it instead of mixing up my own glazes to have it ready. Otherwise, I don't see myself really doing a whole lot with it. I do want to see how it looks over a Zinfandel highlight. So what I want to do is prime something black and then prime white over it at like a 45-degree angle or like a 50-degree angle around
that
it
shade
to catch all the recesses or the raised areas so that you see the gradient and all your detail. And then I want to gloss it all, and then I want to apply the contrast to see how that looks. Because if that looks pretty good, then yeah, for a commission painter that has somebody that's like, hey, I just need to get this done because I don't even have the skill to open up a paint pot and put a brush to anything, and I don't want to buy fucking 30-something colors just to paint this one thing where you already have these colors. It might make it easier for that person just to quick, like, just to get it onto the tabletop, flock it real quick, pick out the eyes and symbols. It might serve a purpose, but without having it in our hands, I don't know.
I think that you're going to be impressed. I think you're gonna be more impressed than you might think.
So
I'm more impressed with Scale 75 than I have been with anything GW's ever made.
I was gonna say, Scale 75, is that the kind of primer you're using, James?
No, that is a paint. The primer I use is Style and Res by Badger.
Okay, it's Badger product. I'm gonna have to look that up, because I definitely I do cheap primer myself, but
I've used lots of different primers. It's not considered a cheap primer. It's just the fact that you run it through an airbrush and it's already like to the right consistency where you don't need to mix it or anything. It just lasts for a very long time. So imagine having a rattle can that has like no air in it to push it out, but it has like all the way full of paint.
Oh
Imagine how
no.
long that would last. It would last forever.
Yeah,
But
it would.
that's kind of like how this is.
Okay.
Just run it through an airbrush and it's perfect. And it's way better than Vallejo that I've used. It's way better than Army Painter. I like it better than the GW Chaos Black, which is still a $10 can.
Yeah, it's still not cheap. Kind of like we were talking about with dipping. I mean, when I first got into Tyranids years ago, I looked up all kinds of dipping guides, expecting to paint tons and tons of hordes. And like you mentioned, it's not a replacement for skill. It's not a replacement for technique. And I'm seeing all these technical painters say the same thing. And even looking at some of the old school dipping guides, like the Army Painter dips and the Vallejo dipping pots or whatever, like the best looking dipped work is obviously the stuff that people will often put details on before they're dipped and after they're dipped. And like it's you can use it as a speed up process, but if you're doing it to get lazy painting done or like faster painting done, it's just not going to hold a candle to the actual techniques. I mean, like what you're saying, James, I've heard other people express the hopes that they are more like a glaze, just like very pigment dense, kind of like overtones. I mean, I could definitely see myself using those for all kinds of things.
Because I currently make something, like I use GW's Lyman medium because I like it better than just any other acrylic medium.
Like a medium, yep.
For some reason, it's the viscosity of it I like better. It mixes pigments easier. I've tried different kind, but I'll use this acrylic artist inks, like these inks right here.
I know. I used to work at a Michaels. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Extremely high in pigment.
Yep.
So when I take that and I drop it into the Lyman medium and I mix it around, or even a glaze medium, that's how I make my glazes and put my tones to create my blends. Or a lot of stuff I paint, it looks like I've been airbrushed, but I only use my airbrush to apply my base coat. A couple highlights, maybe if I'm doing an OSL, I might do it. But everything else is brushwork. I like to blend the brush. I mean, I think that's the real skill right there, is when you can get the brush to look like an airbrush. And the only way you really do is just really thin coats, doing a gradient, slowly adding different colors that you're working over so that it creates this opaque blend. So you so you don't see brush strokes. You just see pure color just blending over in a gradient. So if this is basically that kind of mixture that I make, I'm happy for it. It'll be a tool that I'll use. But to say that I'm going to paint a whole army like that, that is just the lazy man way of just doing it. I mean, great. It's going to take gray plastic and put color on it at the game store. But like I go to competitive like gaming places. I mean, I go to GTs more than I go to RTTs this season, and it's 3-color minimum. So I don't think this is going to replace how people currently paint.
I completely agree with you. I do. I mean, I think everyone hopes it means more painted armies. I think it's a good tool. My biggest kind of question with their proprietary medium, since you have to prime with their specific thing to get the colors to work correctly, I really want to see what's in it. So if we can see similar, like if we can see knockoff primers that we could use with their product.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, it's a gloss. That's all it is. Because in the article they showed today, they have the base coats available. It's literally just a gloss that's in their primer. And the reason you need that is to break up the surface tension, because the way they're marketing this product, you wouldn't be able to give a new person how to use this and not have it pool up and coffee stain. So you have to have the gloss. So I already know for a fact it's going to be a gloss inside their primer. And it's either going to be a satin, so it's a semi-gloss, or it's going to be full floor and super shiny glossy gloss. That's the only question I have, is how much gloss are they putting in this primer? But you can just do that now. You can take any primer that GW makes or anyone else makes, and then take a gloss medium, spray it over it. And there's, especially hobby stores, they sell like gloss varnish in an aerosol can. So you can then shoot it with an aerosol of some type of primer, and then shoot it with the gloss, and then go right over it with any type of wash or glaze, and you're going to get the same effect.
Well, I mean, for people that, like, I guess, are even less technically skilled than myself at painting, I think, like for layman's, that kind of gloss is almost like having a thin layer of ice, where you're just not having paint stick to paint. You actually have it slide over the model and not, fill holes like glue.
Yeah. It retains detail.
Yeah. Thank you, George.
Yeah. Yes, you guys are pretty good artiste and everything.
Hey.
Yeah.
George.
Yeah.
This is what you think. This will be fantastic, but even you won't crack open a pot and apply it to a model.
No, I would not. No, I will not.
Nothing changed.
I just wanted to make. I just wanted to make your life better, man.
Sit on it. Well, dude, it's just the 32 colors. I'm no way they're charging less than $5 in each one. I'm thinking they're going to be $6 a paint.
Also,
plus tax. So what is that? 32 times 6? More than I have in my pocket.
Yeah.
That's about 200 even. Yeah.
Oh my god. I feel that.
Give me some Lord Discordants, bro.
they're coming for you. They're coming for you. Yeah.
The only person that I've met that was kind of interested in the paints is someone who plays Necrons. So he was like, I would be interested in the paints if I didn't just prime my models and was basically done.
Dude, the person that I see loving these the most is Nurgle players, because that is seriously how I would paint Nurgle stuff: is prime it white, put different color washes over after I glossed it, and let them run down and mix together to create these transitions.
Get that pussy kind of color.
And the thing is my hardest problem is making them bright enough. So I end up going in and highlighting them up with a different color. This is going to have enough pigment where you can just hit it and go. And so like Poxwalkers, Plague Bears, Nurglings, all that type of shit, those people are going to love this because they don't have to like fucking think about how they're going to mix anything. They just throw it at it. One thick coat.
Yeah.
One thick coat.
Hey, that didn't do so good. What'd you think of? Did you watch Game of Thrones, Chris? Did you? I know James did, right?
I am 100% familiar with everything that happened. I did not watch any of the new season, but I literally spoiled the entire new season for myself.
Okay. 10-4.
I also read the book, so like I figure, I'm more curious to just figure out how it's different than the books when they finally come out. Asterisk. If George R. R. Martin doesn't die.
If he doesn't die.
He's gonna die, bro. He's gonna die, bro.
He's gonna fucking die.
Oh, no.
Dude, he made a quote saying he'd rather die and not put out something that he is not proud to put his name on.
Yeah.
I mean, I respect that.
Well, what the hell happened with this? What the hell happened with the show then?
He didn't put his name on it, bro. He was like, all right, you guys take over.
It's pretty much his name. Fucking shit.
To his defense, the guy is always working on 10 billion projects. I mean, a lot of guys don't know he has his names attached to, I think, both Guardians of the Galaxy movie. He's always got his hands in like all kinds of comic book stuff and all kinds of books. I wouldn't be surprised if, maybe somewhere down the line he ends up writing something, at least a short story for like a Black Library kind of like thing.
That'd be cool.
I would be hype on that.
Oh yeah. But yo, we're getting pretty much about that time. Is there anything particular we wanted to cover that we didn't, or anything like that?
The only thing that I didn't really touch on in regards to kind of James's tournament prep is with all of the Lord Discordant kind of list, it actually has me altering my list a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm running one now, so me too. Yeah, I've altered by adding them to my army.
Yeah, it's made me drop some of my firepower for a little bit further firepower because I want that extra turn of trying to blow you out of the water if I can.
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time. We got a tournament. I'm doing an Age of Sigmar tournament this Saturday. We're hosting Warp Charge. We'll be streaming all day Saturday from about noon to 9. You guys can check out 3 battles in a row and top table at the end. And then Sunday's Kill Team Day as usual. We got some Best Coast pairing videos about to come out that show how the team functionality works, and which is really cool there for ATC. They take a team captain and then they have 4 players in their team, and they match them up when they get to the table. That's all built into Best Coast, so that's coming out soon. That'll be cool. We got a giveaway going on right now of a painted and magnetized Gilliman. You guys can go check out our Facebook page and see the share. And if you like, comment, and share on that thing, you can get a chance to win on the second Thursday of July. When we're live on air, we'll announce the winner of the Gilliman. I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be cool. We got our first payout. That's going to be the same day that we do the first payout for our reward system on Patreon. And man, we're really excited. Tau Dark, he is a hell of a dude. Tau Dark wants to hook up somebody.
Ooh.
Yeah, Chris got loud right as I was saying. Sorry, man, it's my headphones. But yeah, the fucking Tau Dark's the man, and he wants to help the future generation grow in the hobby. And we have somebody that is a young man, a young gentleman that his family learned how to play 40K to basically meet his desires of playing this game. So I haven't even got to meet him yet, just heard about him, and we're going to try to give him Tau Dark's huge hookup for being one of our first Patreon subs, and that's because Tau Dark's an awesome dude. So really looking forward to that. It's going to be really cool. I plan on having an interview with this young man, as long as it's all okay with his parents, and he's down as well to get a shopping spree at Battlegrounds, thanks to Battlegrounds being our big guy.
Hey, kid, come into my cave and roll some dice.
Oh, yeah, that's what it's going to be like. Oh, my God. On that note.
Never look back.
James, you good?
Dude, Tau Dark's the man.
He is.
I don't even know what else to say about that. Like, this dude's generosity keeps surprising me.
For real.
Like, we don't see people like this every day in our daily lives.
It's true.
So I'm grateful to have associated ourselves with him.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
So it's a real honor, man. It's an honor and a pleasure, and that's what we say in the start of our introduction video on Patreon. You guys can go check out if you'd like. We're honored to be in a position to be able to kind of reward people in return for the support they give to us. So it's an awesome situation. It couldn't be done without Battlegrounds. Are the most awesome game store on earth, and I appreciate everybody that tuned in and checked out the show. There's going to be much more to come.
I got a Battlegrounds tattoo today.
That's true. There, show that off. Nice. Battlegrounds. Yeah, and that's where James going to be coming to visit, him with Robles and Kevin, to go to the Battle in the Warp major event. We got people traveling from worldwide, so I cannot wait. But yeah, it's been awesome, guys. Keep taking fun seriously. We'll catch you.